The Knicks postgame show is presented by Tri-State Audi. Visit your Tri-State area Audi dealer today. The regular season finale in Brooklyn. Jalen Brunson, cat, day off. Mikal Bridges plays only 6 seconds, but extends his consecutive games played streak. Precious Achiuwa, another excellent game with 18 points. And Cam Payne for the Knicks had a season-high 21. Landry Shamet had a season-high 29. And the Knicks beat the Nets. Final score, 113-105. Great to have you with us here from our Delta MSG studios. Bill Pidto along with Alan Hahn. So all eyes now on next weekend, the playoffs. Game 1, Knicks and Pistons will either be on Saturday or Sunday. But let us also acknowledge, Alan, 51 wins for this team. It's the Knicks' best regular season since the 12-13 team won 54 games.
Yeah, finishing the season off with a win is an important thing, no matter who was in the lineup, just to feel good at the end of the year and also accomplish something, which is being one game better than you were last year when it comes to wins and losses. But, I mean, you're right. This is now the regular season's behind you. And it's something that Wally referenced a couple of games ago. This looks like a team that just wants to get to the postseason, that just knows that the 3 seed was theirs, and they just want to get to now where the games matter most. We're there now. And it is time, certainly, for them to get their minds and bodies reset and ready in a week to play a playoff game. But this game does show you a couple of things, and one of them was, of course, Landry Shamet, and that he finished off the season on a heater. 47% from 3 in his last 11 games, averaging 12 points a game, and showed you in a game like this that he not only was he hot, he stayed hot, and showing you that he could dominate against all these players. This is the shooting that he brings is so valuable in the postseason, and if he can go into the playoffs feeling as good as he is with his shooting and his ability, his experience over 50 games in the playoffs, that's a valuable veteran to have off the bench in the postseason.
I want to remind everyone we have our playoff preview show tonight at 8 o'clock, and we'll obviously be talking about each team's bench. And you just referenced Shamet. We know the Pistons have a pretty good bench. If Shamet can do what he's done here of late, how huge is that going to be? He had a season-high 29 points and a season-high 7 made threes.
Yeah, it's very important. I mean, we all know how important defense is in the postseason, but still, offense is everything, and making shots is important. I think experience is something we'll talk a lot about in this matchup in the playoffs. He's got a lot of it. You see Cam Payne, he's also pictured there. Both of these guys combined over 100 playoff games, a lot of experience. And with that experience comes, of course, comfort. That's the most important thing. Been in these moments, understanding it. And he also is in a rhythm, which is the biggest part of everything late in the season. The Knicks have talked about at the end of this season how they are out of rhythm right now. They have to find rhythm. Landry Shamet in rhythm, and he didn't have to find it because he's got it right now, and it's at the exact right time. And these guys off the bench can give you value and also can help you win matchups, because the experience factor when it comes to the postseason is something that you can't overlook. You can't write it off. You might look at numbers in a regular season and say this team has better production off the bench than you do. But do they have the experience of the postseason like the Knicks do? We'll find out.
Cam Payne's got big-time experience, was on the Suns team that made it to the finals.
Yep.
Last year, remember when he was on the Sixers, he had a couple of electric sequences against the Knicks, and he played really well today. 21 points, like Shamet. It was a career season high for Payne. Yeah,
and comfort zone again for Cam Payne, which he knows his role. He knows what's expected of him. All that stuff is important that you just mentioned in that playoff experience. And you'll have, again, the professional approach to a game like this, where you know the guys that are on the court, you know what you're dealing with. In a game that, does the win matter? Well, wins always matter, of course. But in the end, it was about keeping guys healthy and just staying in rhythm. So Cam Payne approached this game as he normally does, come in and make a difference. And what I love about Cam Payne is something that Mike Breen has talked about a lot. It's his enthusiasm for the game. The guy's been in the league a long time now. You have to understand, like when preseason, I remember watching him in Charlotte. And I remember seeing him dancing before warm-ups in the preseason. I'm thinking, like, what's this guy fired up for? It's the preseason. What does he care? It's how much he loves to play. And so veterans like him, especially a guy like him who's been to the finals, when it gets to playoff time, you can only imagine just how much more that enthusiasm goes up. So his readiness, but his also understanding of his role, and he has done it before and played it at a high level. Cam Payne's the guy you hate to play against, but you love having him on your team.
And we'll see about Precious Achiuwa in terms of playing time in the playoffs. we do know that when he started, like he did against Detroit and like he did this afternoon, 18 points against the Pistons, 18 points this afternoon. When he gets the opportunity, when he gets the minutes, he often produces.
Yeah, and it's important, I think, for Precious Achiuwa because we know, again, bench minutes are going to get smaller and smaller. When you get to the postseason, rotations will get tighter. And how do you play? And there'll be matchup situations you'll look at in the postseason and say, does this player fit the matchup we need in this series versus maybe another series? He's got size. He's got versatility. We know he can score. He loves to dunk on people. He also doesn't mind physicality. We did see that in Detroit. That could be something important. But for Precious Achiuwa to take big minutes like this, a starting role, and get off to a great start, it's another reminder to the coaching staff. And don't forget about me. Don't forget about what I can bring to this team.
Now, we mentioned Cat didn't play and Mitchell Robinson didn't play. That's why Achiuwa got all the time.
And he took advantage of it.
Detroit, they also were shorthanded up front.
Right.
But when completely healthy, it'll be interesting to see, Alan, if Achiuwa gets any opportunity.
It's going to be really interesting because you got to know that right away when you're talking about your bench rotation, because you rarely will go 9 deep. You will probably go 8. Maybe a 9th guy might get spot minutes.
But if you think it's 9, you're going to have Mitchell Robinson.
Yep, for sure.
Or 8, you're saying. Mitchell Robinson, McBride, Payne, Shamet. Which of those other 3?
That's what I mean. You got to see what fits, what works. You know, you're talking about size matchups where at the guard position, do you need more size, more height? You're also looking for experience, right? So you want to see how that works out. But for the most part, I want Jalen Brunson on the floor as much as possible. I want Karl Anthony Towns on the floor as much as possible. I need OG Anunoby on the floor as much as possible. So when you are playing guys now, the minutes police now have to retire because when it's playoff time, everybody's playing 38, 42 minutes a night in the playoffs. That's just going to happen. So when you have that, you've got to see who fits, though, in those spot minutes, who understands the role, and what's it going to be. It's not going to be easy, some of these decisions they're going to have to make when the playoffs begin.
All right, playoffs begin next weekend. Game 1 against the Pistons, either Saturday or Sunday. We have complete pre- and post-game coverage for every game the Knicks play in the first round, whether we have the broadcast or not. Pre- and post-game coverage throughout the first round right here on MSG.
Let's go.
Tom Thibodeau's post-game comments are coming up. His Knicks finish up the regular season with a win in Brooklyn, beating the Nets 113-105. Stay with us, everybody.
The Knicks postgame show is presented by Audi. Visit your Tri-State Audi dealer today.
Playoffs begin next weekend. Knicks and the Pistons. Game 1 either Saturday or Sunday. We will have pre- and post-game coverage for every game the Knicks play in round number 1. Knicks beat the Nets today. Tom Thibodeau's post-game comments, as always, presented by Chase.
Yesterday, or was it always just it was really medical, the recommendation that they had. So then we thought that was the best thing for our team, and we're always going to put that first.
The performances you got from Landry and
yeah, and that was, anytime you just deal with your circumstances and your reality. So the starters are out, and it was a good opportunity to give the bench guys extended minutes, and then to get a look at. I thought McCullough was fantastic in the second half. He was huge, and so Landry, big game. Cam, big game. I thought PJ made some really tough plays for us. I thought Precious gave us good minutes. So we had a number of guys. DeLon did a really good job as well. So it was just good for those guys to get some extended minutes.
Tom, this gives you 51 wins on the season. Just how do you sum up the regular season?
Yeah, and the thing is, it is, and I just said that to our team. You win 51 games, you're the 3rd seed, so you've earned the right to be in the playoffs, and you're not in the play-in, so you have a week to prepare and get ready for the next challenge. So it's really a new season. So the regular season puts you in position, gives you the opportunity, and you want to finish with the highest seed possible. And then you start all over. Everyone's record is 0-0, so you got to earn everything again. So, and we have to understand what goes into it. In terms of preparation, we're a big believer in how we prepare. So now it's time to get ready and study.
When you're preparing and looking at the film, what about the Pistons
makes you the most concerned?
Well, everything, and they've had a fantastic season. We just played them recently, so I think we have a feel for, what their strengths are, but we have to dig a lot deeper into them to know them really well. And then, we have a respect for them, but we understand that it's going to take 48 minutes of good basketball to win.
How important do you think playoff experience is? I mean, you have a lot of guys with playoff experience when you go up against the team.
Well, yeah, I think experience is always good as long as it's been good experience. Sometimes guys don't have good experience, and that could be a negative. And sometimes a guy with no experience can play well, but, whatever it is that you have, bring it. And, I think we have good veterans that have been through things, and I think they've done a good job helping our younger guys understand what goes into it. But I think, I like the experience that we do have.
Cade has averaged over 30 points in the regular
Pardon?
season. Cade Cunningham
Yeah.
has averaged over 30 points against you guys in the regular season. What did you see there? Did you like your defense against them?
Yeah, well, he's had a terrific season. It's not just us. He's done it against everybody. So we understand that. Every game that you have, a team is going to have certain strengths, and you have to have the proper amount of respect. And I think with great players, you don't guard them individually. You have to guard them collectively. So we have to understand what goes into that.
What are your thoughts about where Mitch is going into the playoffs after he's played the last few weeks?
Yeah, I like the way Mitch is playing a lot. So now there's no back-to-backs, there's no restrictions, so he's in a good place.
They have some guys that you faced in the postseason. Coach JV, you coached against in the postseason. Is it different when they're with a different team?
Yeah, well, like one thing really doesn't have anything to do with another. It's two different teams. So, and that's the way it's like going from one year to the next. There's not a carryover. Every game is different. Every series is different. So we have to be prepared.
You had Shannon going back months before he got hurt. How do you feel?
Pardon?
You like Landry going back.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the way his confidence is right now?
Yeah, the way he finished the season was terrific, and he just makes real good basketball plays. He knows how to space the floor. He knows how to move without the ball. He's good in transition. He's good in the half court. He knows how to play off people. He doesn't force things. When he's open, he shoots. And when he's guarded, he makes the right play. And I think that goes a long way. He has the ability to think on his feet, and he's a great competitor.
You've got a few players off the bench who are in a good scoring rhythm right now. Playoffs come around, everybody shortens their rotations. How difficult is it when you've got so many players off the bench playing well to shorten your rotation for the playoffs?
You just do what's best for the team. That's not difficult.
All right, last one, guys. You've gone 8 deep or 7 deep.
Yeah, well, most teams do, and I know you guys are aware of that. So, being a veteran, experienced playoff riders, you understand that.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Kind of tongue-in-cheek there about how the minutes are going to break down. I thought it's interesting. He said playoff experience is not necessarily helpful if those have been negative playoff experiences.
That's interesting, and I wonder
because we don't look at it like that.
No, we just say, oh, he played in a lot of playoff games,
right.
so he knows the playoffs. But like when you look at, if you just want to look at the Pistons, Tobias Harris, what would you say his playoff experience has been?
Not great.
Especially with the Sixers, right?
Helpful to the Knicks.
Yeah. All right. So Tim Hardaway Jr. last year was in and out of the lineup with Dallas on their run to the finals. He didn't play in all those games. There were some games where he was not playing. So is that a great experience? So those are Malik Beasley was in and out of the lineup with the Lakers when they went on their run to the conference finals. Like there's a lot of things you can look at and say, well, they have experience, but is it good experience? Cameron Payne was in the lineup with the Suns at a part of their rotation going to a finals. That's good experience. That's stuff you need. We all know what the Knicks starters and their experience in the postseason, and all of it has been good experience for Jalen Brunson, especially with his 30-point average, Karl Anthony Towns, and what he was able to do on a team that got to the conference finals just last year. So, it all depends on what your experience is and how we make that judgment. But experience has to be the one area that the Knicks are walking into the series and feeling pretty good about. That you check that box, no question, when it comes to who has more experience in this when it comes to playoff basketball. It's got to be on the Knicks side.
Cade Cunningham's never played in a playoff game. See if that has any impact on him, because he has been dominant. Again, we're going to talk about all this tonight, 8 o'clock, our playoff preview show. First round of the playoffs next weekend. Game 1 either Saturday or Sunday. Knicks will host Detroit. Complete pre- and post-game coverage for every game right here on MSG. P.J. Tucker started today, 6 points. In the Knicks win, here he is, post-game.
So, PJ, you guys got about a week before, 5 or 6 days before the first game. What are some of the things that, with all your playoff experience, some of the things that you're going to be in your teammates' ear about this week?
Details, playoff spot details, making adjustments. I think everybody just being locked in on a lot of small things, the trace what the things they like to do, how they like to play. We know them obviously playing them this year, but playoffs are totally different, so you try to lock in on details.
And what about the Detroit Pistons stand out that you guys are going to have to, focus in on?
They play hard. It's gonna be a gritty series. I think the game will be won on the boards and in the trenches. And in between plays, 50-50 plays, like that stuff is gonna determine the series, I think. I look forward to it though. I think it's gonna be great.
And just being around these guys now for a little while, what have you learned about this team?
About this team, they're resilient, man. That's what I love about them. All these guys are really good dudes. They're all together, the togetherness of the team. I think that's the biggest trait for this team is everybody being together, locked in together.
PJ, what do you think the key is to matching the Pistons' physicality in this playoff series? Like, how do you think you guys can meet that?
There's no way to match physicality other than matching it. It is what it is. We know what it's going to be. We know what it's going to be. So guys got to come in and do what we got to do. We got to step up to the challenge. But like I said, we look forward to the challenge. I think guys on this team, looking forward to trying to push the envelope and get further. So.
You had that play in Detroit where I think you knocked Schroeder to the ground, or what it was. Is that kind of what
I don't remember.
Is that, I guess, what you're trying to bring in terms of just bringing the edge?
Yeah, just bringing it, man. It don't matter, whoever, whatever. Just getting the job done. Honestly, game to game is going to change, but I think we just got to have that mentality coming into the series.
Yeah.
When you go against a guy like Isaiah Stewart, when you know like his game is, I'm gonna get physical with you, I'm gonna try to beat you up. How do you kind of plan for that? How do you respond to that?
Just got to play, man. It's so funny, like going in the series every time we talk like all this strategy and what people do. When it comes down to it, players got to play. No matter what, we got to match their energy as a team. Not even individual players. It's not going to be one guy to be able to do it. It's going to take everybody. So just everybody having that mindset.
Back now from the Corner 3, presented by Michelob Ultra Superior Light Beer. Interesting perspective from player P.J. Tucker, who was on the Bucks team that won the championship. And you get the sense that even if he doesn't play a lot, that he's going to provide a valuable resource behind the scenes.
Absolutely. I had a conversation with him just about this. And what we've noticed is in huddles, he'll do a lot of talking. And I asked him, like, you just got here. Like, why are you the one being the voice in the huddle? And he said, because no one else is. And I saw that. And this is a team that has a lot of talent, but there's not enough talking going on and communication. And I feel like I have to do that. He said, I had to do that when I went to Milwaukee, that Giannis wasn't a big talker. Chris Middleton was a quiet guy. He's like, so somebody had to be the guy that just kept giving those reminders, keep talking to guys, keep them focused, pumped up, motivated, whatever it took. He said, I played that role. He goes, and I relish that role. Like, that's what I want to be, so I can be that here with this team, whether I'm playing or not. And he was a big part of that championship team Milwaukee had. And it wasn't that he had big numbers, but it was that he was a guy that understood the importance of communication, to making sure everybody, as he just said there, was on point with all the details. Because talent is one thing in the playoffs, but if you're on point on your details, it can win you a series just alone that way. His experience to be on this team is valuable. And I could see him sneaking a couple of minutes here and there in a physical series like this, because he knows what it's about, and he certainly is all about that life.
And he did make the point. No secret how you match physicality.
With physicality.
With physicality. We'll look ahead when we come back. Deuce McBride of the Knicks win. Saying hello to Juwan Howard. Deuce in the game started at 17 points. Howard now on the net staff. Our Knicks playoff preview special tonight at 8. Playoffs start next weekend, and we have pre- and post-game coverage for every game the Knicks play in round number 1, even if we are not broadcasting the game. We're all gearing up for the playoffs, and we'll be back with more after this. Wrapping up the post-game show, Knicks and Pistons. Game 1 is either next Saturday or next Sunday. We have pre- and post-game coverage for every game the Knicks play throughout the first round. You can watch on MSG or stream our coverage on the Gotham Sports app. Want more than just a post-game show? Link your eligible TV subscription to stream Knicks games free or subscribe today in the Gotham Sports app. Just go to gothamsports.tv to learn more.